Roki Sasaki gets lit up on the second pitch yesterday in spring training on his first outing. I want to get to that and what he has to say about that. Also, the totals are in on Dodgers deferment. How much is the total and how long are the Dodgers going to be paying? We'll get to that story too. Evan Phillips, Tanner Scott. Well, they talk about going worst to first. It is a great story. You're going to like that one too. And Dodgers dugouts, well, they bring us a spring update with questions that need answering. What's going on? Dodgers Digest, Brad J, back in the saddle, brand new right hip, titanium. It's only been a week and a half. I'm at it. Let's go. Let's talk Dodgers. Sasaki gets lit up on the second pitch yesterday. That's frustrating, right? How much hype has been going in to Roki Sasaki, right? How much hype? Think about it. The guy has had so much on, like what team, this, where's he going to go, all that. And he goes to the Dodgers. Dodgers pay the money. Not a lot of money because he's got to wait 6 years to be able to make the big, hard cash. But you bring a guy out there, you get him on the team. He's like, all these teams are courting him. And then he goes out in a simulated game. And a simulated game is different than a normal game, obviously. In a simulated game, what they do is they don't run the bases. You have batters, they can swing, they can hit, but there's no base running going on. So that was a simulated game. So here's Roki. He comes out, second pitch, bada boom. Home run. Second pitch. It's baseball, though, right? I mean, then he goes out in his defense, too, and retires the next six guys. But what did he have to say? It's your Dodgers Digest quote of the day. What did Sasaki have to say about that little incident? And here it is. I wasn't nervous. I kind of think you might have been. But facing hitters for the first time and using a major league ball, which is a big deal because it is definitely a different ball in Japan. And pitching in a game environment, it's like not running the bases, but for the first time in a while. I was just sort of trying to see how to feel it out, how it would go, getting used to being back in the flow of the game. So that's what Roki had to say at the end of the game, the simulated game. So, I mean, thoughts on that? Let's see him below. Are you nervous that he gave up a ding-dong on pitch number 2, spring training? I'm not. I'm not nervous at all. I just think, it's going to be growing pains, but it's a different game. We have to still realize, no matter what, it's a different game in Japan than it is in the U.S. A lot of people are going to say, some people are going to say, not really, but there is a big difference, and it's not just the normal stuff. So everything is different. So for him to come out and then retire the next 6, showing that he can calm down too. Because at some point, you've got to calm down and just relax. All right. Let's talk the numbers. Dodgers deferred payments. Look at the numbers, man. I mean, hey, I'm all for it. 101.051 billion to 8 players in 28 all the way to 46, and I happen to have some numbers right here on it. So here's the number. How do they? You wonder yourself, how can you get with 8 players how you can reach that number, right? How can you do that? 1.05. We're not million. We're talking billion. All right. So Teo is owed from 2030 to 2039, 32 million. Shohei is owed from 2034 to 2043, $680 million over that time stamp. 2033 to 2044, Mookie will be getting his 115 million. Snell chimes in from 2035 to 2046. He'll be getting 66 million over that time. Freddie will get 57 million from 28 to 2040. So a good 12 years there to pay off his 57 mil. And 2034 to 2043, Smith in his 50 million there. And Edmund, too, we forget about that. He's being paid from 2037 to 2044, and that's $25 million. So what's your thoughts on that? I mean, look, for us Dodger fans, we like what we're seeing. The Dodgers have ponied up. They've spent the money, and they want to play. If you look at some of the top teams that are in the playoffs, are expected to make the playoffs, and you look at what they spent in the offseason, zero. Big fat goose egg. There's like 4 or 5 teams that could be in the playoffs who didn't spend a penny. So don't hate the players, okay? You can hate the game all you want, but don't hate the players on that one. So those are the numbers on it. And you look at it, too, as well. 1.05 billion deferred to 8 players. You look at all those numbers. It's their highest payment point. How's this one? The Los Angeles Dodgers' highest payment point, $100.95 million in 2038 and 2039. I mean, how many World Series are we're gonna have between then and now? So, wow, crazy money when you think about it. But once again, it goes back to the teams that are set. They're going to be in the playoffs. They say will be in the playoffs, who didn't spend any money. So once again, you can't hate on the Dodgers. They're doing what it takes to win, and that's what needs to happen. And when the season starts, you need to focus 100% on the task at hand. Hey, the World Series was nice last year, but we got work to do. Got to put the big boy pants on and make it happen. All right. Evan Phillips and Tanner Scott, worst to first. Pretty cool story here. All right. The dudes come into Major League Baseball years ago, and not for a good team, right? They come in, and I think it's Baltimore is who they're playing for. Here's this. Remnants of the late 2010s, Baltimore Orioles, owners of some of the most paltry records in recent memory, have sprouted the 2 most dominant relievers in the sport. Just think about it. They were both on Baltimore, and they weren't very good. But if you ever go to that stadium, it's an awesome stadium, by the way. Camden Yards is a pretty cool place. Evan Phillips, Tanner Scott, barely clung on. Now they're the nucleus of Dodgers bullpen as they seek to repeat as World Series champs. More than that, they're friends who are bounded for life. They were in the trenches together, man. You have to look at that. They were in the trenches together, battling it out on a crappy team. And when you're on a crappy team and your owners aren't doing anything and you're on that team, it just doesn't feel good. They have got to be so happy to be with the Dodgers and to be friends and to battle it out. And we got, about a month left of spring training before we get underway. But looking forward to seeing these two guys take the mound and do some good stuff for the Dodgers. All right, Dodgers dugout put up some spring update questions, and I really liked what they put up here. And this is legit. This is legit of what you got to ask yourself right now. Open roster spots for the Dodgers. Will Dustin May or Tony Gonsolin get the last rotation spot? That's a good point. I like the way Dustin looks. Sure, it was 1 inning. But to see that guy, he's like the wild card. No one was even thinking about it. People are saying trade Dustin May, but I think we're going to see something out of Dustin May that's going to be special this year. And who's going to get the final position player spot? Because that battle continues to see who is going to be coming away on the team. And guys are starting to step up at spring training. And will Freddie Freeman be ready on opening day? A month from now, I got to think so. No matter what, I think that Freddie should be ready by opening day. And I would think that no matter what, you'd want him starting for you on that day. Hey, that's going to do it, man. Wow, that was quick. Dodgers Digest, Brad J here. Always subscribe. Hit the like button. Let's build it. Let's get to double digits and make this thing happen. Hit the like and turn on the notifications. That's going to do it for me. That's your Dodger Digest. Always remember, as you go through the day, my friend, you just simply think Dodger Blue.